All right, so we just finished our lesson with all that technology in there, and I really think that it's a good lesson as it is, but it's a lot of technology. Normally in a lesson, what I would do every day, I probably wouldn't have that much technology, but using the watch for music, using a timer, using one of the stations. We would maybe use one of the stations that we used technology in, but you don't want to make where technology is overloading your lesson and taking away from your lesson. For instance, we did a lesson last year that we're going to try to dig up some tape on, and it was QR codes and Google Docs and scorecards on a computer and videos, and then we had the timer running, and it was just overload almost to where it was taking away from the actual lesson. So I think the lesson today, it works. Where we're using our technology, it doesn't take away from the actual lesson. It actually enhances the lesson or helps run the class. But I didn't have that same feeling as from last year when we did it, where I felt like we could probably take away 2 or 3 pieces of equipment or pieces of technology, and the lesson would have gotten better. I feel like it kind of made the lesson work, or each piece of technology made the lesson actually work a little bit better.
But how about something that actually puts you in some type of activity? And so, what's your name?
Kyle. Yeah.
Mr. Kyle. Like you said, technology enhances. It's not meant to replace. You still need that guidance, and technology can't do that. That's why we actually need a person who starts off with the warm-ups, someone who gives the directions. And like you said, technology does complement, the actual PE lesson. And so for me, I was really impressed with, the different type of stations, because you don't want to just stick at one station. No, you want to continuously move. And even that, when you're moving, you're being active. You're getting up, you're walking or running to the next station. So you're being active in that way as well. You're not just stopped. And this sort of level, you're learning as well as having fun, and that's the beauty of technology.
Xbox Connect and the Wii and all those games. The gaming, yeah, I think he likes that Xbox Connect. And even in the game, if you saw on the passing game, even though it wasn't actually interactive, just hitting those targets, them trying to hit the targets, it brought out that competitiveness. And then having the levels, and even there's a big thing going on now about gamifying your lessons and gamifying PE. For even when you're not using technology, students are such in that technology mind frame that even if you're doing something, you're like, all right, we're going to start by walking. This is level 1, all right, and you guys are going to try to get to level 2, and if you want to get to level 2, that might be skipping, and then we might move it to level 3. Level 3 we get to run, or something like that. Just as very basic activities is a big thing going on now is gamifying just your basic lessons. So you're not even pulling in technology there, but you're bringing in that technology terminology where that kind of hits home with a lot of our students. I would use the Simon exercise more as a warm-up, where the whole class is doing it at one time. That way that I could watch them all. They could challenge each other, but also then I could then use the smart board to kind of run the timer. You guys got a little brief clip of the timer, but the timer works really well when they can see the time, when they can hear the beeps and the music cutting on and off with that, and then they can stop and start their activity, and it kind of helps with transition there. Even though I could say stop or start and freeze, that music cutting off, or them hearing a beep and seeing like it's coming down the countdown 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 down to 1, when that station's supposed to be finishing up, that helps out the lesson there. So I've used the projector for other throwing activities. There's a lot of stuff going around where you can have different things, characters going across the screen and working on your throwing units. We've used it for dodging. We're using your shadows and stuff like that. Yes, yeah. So we scoot it way back, and they use their shadow. They just look at the wall, and they're using their shadow to dodge different things. And I have a PowerPoint, and I could send you guys if I need to do that, so you guys can see what's going on with that. But It's the first time I've actually used it that up close and having that projector that close with students around. And we used it all day, except for kindergarten and first grade. So we used it 2 through 5, and I mean, nothing happened to it. Yeah, it was enclosed in kind of 2 crates, but I thought that part of the lesson actually went really well, and they were really competitive, trying to hit those targets. If one thing that we do sometimes when you gamify stuff or when you have that competition is sometimes your form goes away, and that would be something that you could kind of look at and make sure that they're using that good form, but just that repetition, that practice they're getting, and having fun in PE and learning to love, whether it's just moving around, having that gamifying that made it where someone else might not like basketball and could care less, but now they are excited because it's kind of like a video game. Assessments, for the most part, we do a lot of informal assessments. It's a lot of observation, a lot of self-assessment. Like today with the technology, they were able to shoot, go around, look at themselves, and then come back around and try to fix what maybe they didn't do before. I think it's called video delay. We do use some formal assessment. We use the Chromebooks and stuff like that in some of the Chromebook labs to do some of our SLO testing. In some units, when for example gymnastics, I'll go around and videotape, and I'll be able to watch that kind of stuff. And they can I'll set up the video delay also in that, where they can watch their routines. And then I'll have different checklists that I could go through. It's just really hard, and I'll be honest, really hard with. We teach kindergarten through 5th grade every day. So that's 6 classes a day, 45 minutes. Some of the classes I see once a week. And so with taking up a lot of time with assessment, it takes away from getting those kids those fitness minutes. So a lot of the formal assessment doesn't take place as often as we would like, because in my mind, getting those kids moving is more important than me having the data on them. Now, we do like to get video on them, and something I've talked about is trying to get some kind of database where you can see where you grow from kindergarten to 5th grade doing certain skills like throwing or kicking or something like that. But just the time and the finding the right app or the right program to get all that stuff there and get it all into folders, and then having kids move and come. We probably get a new student a day here at Doby's Bridge, just because of where we're located and the houses they're building around us. So we would add a student in the middle of the year who hadn't had anything, and so they might be with us for 6 months and then go to middle school. So just having that and finding the right apps or the right program for a database to have that. With the video delay, you can use it for all kinds of skills. You can use it for throwing and catching and all kinds of different skills at the elementary level. But I've also seen it used at the middle school level with those same skills, or at the high school level when you're maybe doing weightlifting. If you're doing a set and you're working on your squat, and you do set up the video camera, you can squat, you can do a whole set. Go then look, and you could look at yourself throughout that whole set and see if your form faltered, or maybe you didn't have good form. Baseball, hitting in a batting cage, or at a basketball game, or football, or a pitcher throwing on a mound, and you're able to go back and look at that stuff. Not actually having to videotape it and go back and look, but have it on a delay, even if it's on like a 1 or 2 minute delay. Throw 4 or 5 pitches, go back over, and then you can sit down and look at it while the other guy's throwing 4 or 5 pitches, and you can watch yourself while you're doing that. So not just at the school level, but also at the coaching level, at the high school level, elementary, middle, all types of levels. There's all kinds of different video apps that I've seen that go a little bit more complex. I just don't use them at the elementary level.